I am back. My mom was calling me because I forgot to clean the Coca-Cola. So yeah. The reason why I'm making this, I do know an analog series are not all just carbon copies. The only thing it's actually original from them is, the plots. The reason why I don't like analog horror is because the plots are just dull and generic. Like, analog horror plots are just bad or just okay. Or decent, I don't know. They're only bad or okay, and I can just score Welcome to Dream World because literally could have just been a show, but for some weird reason they just had to make it an analog horror series so they can appeal to children. And I've been like 13-year-olds, and yeah, I don't care, and they're going to. Analog horror is going to dumb down because I don't care. I'm trying to say is analog horror issue is the plots. The plots are just generic, and the only focus they give you is to be scared. And you saying, but that's what it's horror. And I say, what? So, horror doesn't mean the plot is going to be. Doesn't mean you. Horror doesn't mean the plot is going to suffer. A piece of horror can have a good plot. And it doesn't, it's just bad. And somehow people don't understand that, including pacing matters. If a horror movie, example, has better pacing and it's slow, it doesn't mean it's good. It means it's bad, and they're wasting their time. Yes, an analog horror series is horror, but all of them I seen, apart from a few exceptions, their crutch is horror. It could have just been the entire wheelchair. That's the problem. I also have a problem with Welcome to Dream World because it doesn't balance well. It does have a good plot. It fails with its horror. It doesn't feel like an analog horror. It feels like. It feels none of them. It just feels like a TV show, but with a garbage VHS filter you found on Craigslist. I'm not trying to say, and I can make a better analog horror series, and you could. What is it, these review videos? I'm not trying to say I can make a masterpiece. I'm just criticizing of what I see, what I enjoy. I'm not just saying, I can make something better than you. That's not what I'm trying to do. And the reason why I'm making this review is because I'm tired of people just smelling his farts. Because saying, like, actually over exaggerating this whole thing. They literally say the Walton Files is more scary than the FNAF, and I think it's like on par, like exactly the same. Horror wise, yeah. Anyone? I'm gonna get into. So let's move to the next section, so I can show why. The horror, it's you know, bad. Like I do get it. Some of them, like examples, like it tries when he's interviewed, he says he comments on horror and says the key of it is to make unsettling, turning a plot on its head. Yes, it doesn't. Yeah, it could work. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. That's why creepypastas failed, because they did it and it was hilarious, or just examples are Mario RPG creepypasta, where Mario has an actual RPG, and it's just why. And then we have the one where Mario cuts off Luigi's pee-pee. It's just why you make this? What? I'm basically saying that's the key. It's kind of wrong because saying turning its head on a familiar concept is kind of not accurate, because it can still be executed horribly wrong. It's more as a 50-50. It could be good or bad. It could be just accidental. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of subjective, you could say, what horror is. But I can agree one thing, and everyone can agree upon. Jump scares are not horror. Jump scares is something that shocks you. Horror is something it literally leaves you and you think about for days. Like, that's what horror is. It's something that basically stays with you. A jump scare doesn't. And then people are praising like this is a best horror, and no, it has it's jump scares, and jump scares doesn't make a thing good. The only reason in movies is because they realize the plot is so bad. They try to cover it up with jump scares so they don't so they can trick you and think you're watching a good movie. And nowadays we just basically judge a movie by how much jump scares it has, because they're so conditioned jump scares. They just yeah. There's in the third episode 3, they tried to do some horror, basically acknowledging and with the car accidents and information we already knew. It just added context, but it kind of doesn't work for me. Yeah, it might work with some people, but it just feels poorly executed. It's yeah, I do get it. This is his first project. This is his first horror project, so I do get why it's his first attempt at making an actual horror. It just feels, but it doesn't excuse it. This is criticism I'm trying to give. And saying if this is his first time, it's just so bad. It's just. Or what? Should I give criticism to the room because it was his first project? Huh?